Hey everybody, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kristina. Please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. It's a losing battle here. We'll see what happens this year. Thumbs up. Wish me good luck. So, anyways, this is where we read series books, talk series books. Please check out tour my bookcase. I might do something else with it. I had an idea the other day I'm thinking about. Let me know if I should go back to Flashback Mondays. I'm thinking about doing that again. I enjoyed that immensely. All these people do shopping things. Well, isn't that what my romantic times with you is? See what all I have, go shopping for whatever I have in the house. But anyways, we are doing 4th of July, James Patterson's Women's Murder Club. Took a little longer to read than anticipated. But it was good. It kept your attention. The chapters are very, very short. Some chapters are only 1 page long. Some of them are 3 pages long, but they're very, very short. So it starts out kind of innocently enough, and we're all still remembering Jill. The Women's Murder Club, we have Warren Boxer is her ex-partner. Now she's his boss. Claire is the Emmy. Cindy's the reporter. And Joe is the potential boyfriend, FBI, Homeland Security guy. So we're doing all that. And so when it shows up, when the book starts, my nose is going off today. Lindsay is off duty. She's hanging out with Claire and Cindy, remembering Jill, and they're in their favorite restaurant and they're having a few beverages, alcoholic beverages. And Jacoby's, they had a shooting, a murder previously, and this car that was linked with the murder is spotted, and Jacoby calls Lindsay, says, I'm outside, let's go chase this car down. So Lindsay gets in the car and lets him know that she'd had a few. Oh, shoot. Sorry. I just sneezed. Oh, God. It's bad today. So they do a high-speed chase. Obviously these kids, this person who's driving the car is guilty of something, of what they're not sure of yet, but they are in a high-speed chase, and the chase is very deadly. So they finally catch the car, and they open the car up, and they, get out of the car, put your hands up, and all that kind of stuff, and they follow police procedure until they discover that the inhabitants of the car are kids, young kids, and that they're hemmed in by the airbags. And so instead of following procedure as, a police procedure, but because Boxer and her see Lindsay and Boxer see the kids as kids. They see them as kids. They proceed as kids. They want to call for an ambulance and get rescue and get them out of the car and blah, 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 blah. Instead, they put their guns away. They go to assist the children, and the children open fire on Lindsay and Boxer, doing serious damage, and Lindsay ends up killing one of the girl killed, and the other kid ends up paralyzed and on breathing machines the whole 9 years. And the whole thing is very did it in self-defense. It was obvious. The kids fired first. The kids had weapons. They had deadly intent. It was the whole thing was set up. And so once Lindsay gets out of the hospital, shoot, I gotta sneeze again. So once Lindsay gets out of the hospital, the parent of the surviving child gets a mob attorney to take their case to sue Lindsay for wrongful damages of $50 million. And so they go to the proceedings to find out if there's enough evidence to go to court. And the whole thing is just supposed to be dismissed, whatever. But because Lindsay had drinks, the judge is iffy on the situation. So she says it can go to trial. So while Lindsay is labeled a child killer in the press, and if you watch the Star Trek Next Generation video, Dead Drum, that I do, I talk about the mob mentality and how it only takes one person to speak really strongly about something and for it to catch on. And if it's a bad thing, oh jeez, I gotta sneeze. Damn, I'm gonna take some allergy meds. So if it's I was talking about this old case in the newspaper a couple hundred years ago, where this somebody said that this woman's husband was missing, and someone else suggested that she murdered him, and so said, yeah, he saw this or that, and the whole case was contrived on hearsay, on people inventing stuff. And she said she didn't do it, and he's not dead. She didn't know where he was, and whole 9 yards. And the whole case was blown out of proportion, and they ended up scheduling her to hang for his murder. And this is 200 years ago. The husband shows up about a month later. He'd been out of town looking for a new place for their family to live. So you can see how things get really blown out of proportion. I love some of those older articles. People were so forthcoming about them. So Lindsay's sister, she's also remembering one of her first cold cases, that a kid was killed in the hotel room. And I've got to sneeze again. This is ridiculous. So Lindsay's remembering an old it was just before 4 a.m. on a weekday. My mind was racing even before Jacoby nosed up a car in front of the Lorenzo, a grungy rent-by-the-hour tourist hotel on block in San Francisco's Tenderloin district that's so forbidding even the sun won't cross the street. 3 black and whites were at the curb, and Conklin, the first officer at the scene, was taping off the area. So was another officer, Les Aru. What have you got? I asked Conklin and Aru. White male, lieutenant, late teens, bug-eyed and done to a turn. Room 21. No signs of forced entry. Vicks in the tub, just like the last one. The victim had been beaten first and then electrocuted in the bathtub with a toaster. And it was an unsolved case that haunts Lindsay for a really long time. So while she's awaiting trial, there's a piece of hair here. I'm not doing very well today, am I? Very bad. So, my friend over there, did you watch my New Year's recording? I show who my friend is over here. Oh, she didn't bing. So anyways, while Lindsay is awaiting the trial to start, she can't work or anything like that. So her sister says, we're going out of town for a while. Why don't you go stay at our cabin? So Lindsay goes to stay up at their cabin. And while she's there, she's taking care of their potbelly, Vietnamese potbelly pig. And she gets instructions. I don't know if this is the right page. Let me look. Dear Lindsay, this note is all about me. I'd like a cup of pig chow twice a day and a clean bowl of water. I also like cherry tomatoes, saltines with peanut butter, and peaches. Please come out and talk to me every day. I like riddles and the theme song to SpongeBob SquarePants. In case of emergency, my vet is Dr. Mongil. And my pig sitters are Carolee and Allison Brown. Allison is one of my best friends. The numbers are by the kitchen phone. Don't let me into the house. I've been warned. If you scratch me under the chin, you can have 3 wishes. Anything you want in the whole wide world. And signed the little kid. So she's up there and she's, pondering what to do, and she's remembering this old case, and then she sees a newspaper article about a murder up in that community. When Jake and Alice Daughtry were found slain in their house in Crescent Heights on May 5, Police Chief Peter Stark announced that Antonia Russo had confessed to the crime. According to the chief, the confession didn't jibe with the facts. Ruse has a cleared of charges against him, Stark said. Witnesses say Ruse, 34, maintenance worker for California Electric and Gas, couldn't have been in Daughtry's house on the day of the murder because he was at work. And he was just looking for some fame or something, I don't know. So she wants to help. She wants to investigate. She wants to investigate these murders. Someone is murdering couples in the area, and Lindsay's trying to figure out what links them together. And for some reason, there's one clue that leads her to believe that it's related to that first case in the beginning of the book about the guy that was found dead in the hotel in the bathtub. And Joe comes to visit her a couple days. He's worried about her. She's worried about the trial. All this stuff is going on about the trial. She also meets Dr. Carolee Brown and Alice, her daughter. And they spend some time together. They get to know each other. She's like the neighbor. Joe spends a few days with her. She spends quite a bit of time with Martha, walking her. Martha's her dog. She also goes to the gas station to get gas for her car, and on the lot of the gas station is a 1981 Bonneville. And Lindsay decides she gives the guy $500 for the Bonneville, and she's going to restore it. She's really good with cars. She worked with cars when she was younger, so she's going to work on the car, and she gets to know Keith, the gas station guy. And he's a pretty nice guy, and he hits on her, but she's, like, no, I've already got a boyfriend. And she ends up telling us some stuff she probably shouldn't, but she tells him anyway. And then there's another murder. Doctor's wife is killed, and the doctor isn't at home and isn't at work. He can't be found. Then she has a conference call with Claire and Cindy, a little bit reminiscent of the murder club, and they talk about the similarities of the case, of the John Doe case with these current cases. There's couple little things that have in common. So she goes she talks to Yuki. Yuki is going to be our new, I guess that's kind of a spoiler. I guess it's a spoiler for book 5. I haven't actually gotten there yet, but Yuki is her attorney for this case. She's when my petite, demure Japanese mom met my burly, passionate Italian dad at an exchange student mixer, it was pure magnetism. Yuki told us in her funny rapid-fire delivery. My daddy-to-be said let's get married while we're still in love, which they did about 3 weeks after they met, and I arrived 9 months after that. Yuki explained that there was a lot of prejudice against half-breeds in still conservative Japan, and that her family moved to California when she was only 6. But she remembers well what it felt like to be tormented in school because she was of mixed race. I wanted to become a lawyer from the time I was old enough to know what Perry Mason did on TV. Believe me, I'm not bragging, but just so you know, I got straight A's at Bolt Law, and I've been on the fast track with Duffy and Rogers since I graduated. I think that people's motives are critical to their performance, so you guys should understand mine. And she's going to be the 4th member of the Women's Murder Club, but not quite yet. Next, I think it's the next book. So she does some more investigating, and there's another murder. She also has some encounters with another gentleman. She first encountered him at the gas station when she was talking to Keith, and then he tries running her off the road, so she chases him all the way to work. And apparently he's a male dancer, so she gets embarrassed and all that, and a whole bunch of other situations come as of that. And it's a really thick, sticky in boxes. Like, what am I doing? And Lindsay does some more research on the people that were murdered, and she meets an attorney in town, and she talks to him about the case. And you don't realize that the whodunits, sometimes in some books, the whodunit will be a steady thing throughout the entire book. Sometimes the whodunit will visit every once in a while, hi, how are you, and then leave again. So it leaves you hanging on who the whodunit is. But in this book, they've got titles, The Watcher, The Seeker, and I forget what the other one is right off the bat. But they've all got their own little chapters, and that's another thing. I keep comparing it to J.A. Jance, where she flipped back and forth between character point of views in the single chapter, and how it drove me nuts. How I like how Patterson does it, with each person getting their own POV in their own chapter, so that you're aware of the fact that it's a single person's POV. So then she ends up in a little tete-a-tete with the police chief of the small town. He's like, you're on leave, you're under suspicion of this, you're going to trial, leave my case alone. And she has some bad dreams. She gets into more stuff. Then we have the trial. The trial goes on for several chapters. There's another murder. Lindsay starts putting things together. She's on the beach, and she catches the person that was stalking her. And one thing leads to another, and we get to the end. But it's a really compelling case, and you'll have to read to see if Lindsay is cleared of all charges, if she will be allowed to go back to work in the next book, and how her relationship with Chief Stark works out, if he lets her assist him with the case or not, because she's just sitting up there and she has nothing else to do, and she's a cop, and she's in her brain that she's got to solve this case because she really believes it's connected to the murder that happened in the beginning of the book, and she's out to solve it. She really wants to participate. And so she's got her life on the line back in San Francisco with this one trial, and you'll have to see what happens they have to pick a jury, and they have to go through the trial, and there's a whole bunch of dramatics and acting out, the woe is me, I'm injured, I'm this, I'm the victim in all this, even though they're the criminal. They play it up to the hill. Does the jury buy it? Does Lindsay have a career after this? Is she demoted after this? So you have to really just check it out. And please hit the like and subscribe. Oh, I wanted to point out, and I'm still trying to figure this out, except for the fact that it's summer. I have no idea why the title of the book is 4th of July. I usually try and find a tie-in with the title to the storyline in the book, but I'm just thinking it was summer. That's all I can think of. I went through the book twice, so I'm not exactly sure. But you'll have to read the book to find out who is murdering the serial killers and what happens with Boxer. Does she have a career after this? Is she demoted? So we'll see what happens. So please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in.